Hello and welcome to Dysfunctional Dialogue. I'm John McParnold, and I'm back with my brother Jim and our neighborhood buddies Joe Biss, Peter Mosca, and Steve Macaluzzo, catching us in mid-conversation, busting around about Joe's internet issues. Enjoy.
What are you using over there, Joe, for the Wi-Fi? Clay pigeons or?
Yeah, probably.
He's basically Amish.
Probably. I don't know.
He's Amish.
Yeah.
I mentioned this last time, and I was not part of it. But since you're asking about something about when we were younger, have you spoke to Pete and Joe about the time with the guy and the gun and the Kmart and not Kmart?
Oh, Joe.
Yes.
Can you confirm that? Did you see that episode, Joe?
Yes. He pointed the gun at us.
Give us a little backstory, bro.
We stole the records.
I'm never going to be able to stitch this together.
I think the guy came back and just took him out.
No.
I didn't want him to give out the story, man. That guy came back, pulled into his basement, and just took him out.
Yep.
That was his brand manager. We can't have that out there. Don't dig that up. Oh, shit.
But when we were real little, I don't recall getting into a lot of trouble. That wasn't until a little later.
No.
Right.
Mac was the one who was
seventh
young
grade,
and fucking following us around.
Right.
I mean, there are many 11, 12, and 13-year-olds that got to see what he got to see and got to live through for sure. That was classic.
You guys will be like, hey, we're going up to the park. Hey, Nate, come with us, because you guys wanted to laugh. And and that was before my time. So I just do all the goofy shit. You guys would be hysterical laughing. Yeah. My sister had those parties at the house, and I would always be banished to the upstairs. You guys would always come and visit. Here, have a little sip, and if I can have a little beer here, and then you'd go back. I remember I just told this story not too long ago. It was, I was always banished to the upstairs, but every once in a while, we'd be like, hey, come on downstairs. And we sat in my living room, and there was a freaking glass bong on the table, had to be 3 feet tall. And what was his name? Tony, sitting with his feet up. There was a bong full of beer and all like the ash and everything in the bottom. And I sat down next to him. I had like my pajamas on, and he looked over at me and smiled and grabbed that thing and drank the beer out of it.
Am I back in or not?
And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you're back.
All right, sorry. My internet sucks.
And Steve, it was at that point you were like, that's what I'm aspiring to? This is my future?
Yes, that's my goal.
That's my goal.
Yep.
I'm glad we could be inspirational for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Hey, John, I had a memory with you.
Yeah.
Remember working for me?
Joe, I got some stories with you too with that. Let's hear it. So Joe and I worked at McCrory's together.
Remember down in what was it called? What town was it?
We did Elma Park, Passaic, and Summit, New Jersey. Yes,
remember
Summit, New
Jersey? How that was? That was like we dominated down there. Remember? That was great. And then we used to drive back, get the Rock and Rye or get a bottle of
dominate down
Southern Comfort, and just drive on the way back home. Man, you were such a good assistant, man. I was like, thank God I got you to come work with me.
Well, let me tell you something. That was a wonderful time, a wonderful memory for me, Joe. So it was like, I don't know if it was like during like at that point, Summit, I think I was even in college and I came down during summers.
Yeah.
And we would work hard. We would get stuff done. Get everything facing right, clean up the stockroom and stuff like that. But we'd always work our butt off, work really hard. And then the last hour of the day, we'd have some fun. And we did this at both Elma Park, actually at Passaic as well, and then there at Summit, where it was the same kind of pattern. We have a great time, and a bunch of stuff would happen during the day, the whole time. And then at the end of the day, we would find time to do something like set up the boxes. Joe, I hope you remember this.
Yes.
Set up the boxes in the storage room.
Yep.
And grab like a skateboard or something like that. And then one of us will like push the other guy, or one of us will just dive on the skateboard and you have to slalom around the boxes or smash into the boxes and stuff like that. You remember that, Joe? That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then we would get loaded we actually purposely had a light lunch so that we would get that much little more loaded on the way back.
I know.
So
was that McCrory's?
Yes,
McCrory's.
that was McCrory's, and then in Elmwood Park.
Steve worked with some McCrory's.
Remember this? The Sunday, the one day they were coming in, they had to clean the floors. Remember? So Joe had to be there while they cleaned the floors, and me, you, Joe, and Brenda hung out there.
Brenda, yep,
and we fucking completely fucking ossified. We did that.
But there was so many great stories from McCrory. Me being that manager and Kenny, it was great. The times were amazing. Kenny just basically, after I worked at the Birchwood Deli, he just said, "You want to be like a security manager at McCrory's?" Because me and Pete were cleaning out Kmart or whatever it was back in the day with all their albums. We would just take I don't think I ever bought an album in my life.
So who better to be security, right?
Yeah, so that's right, Pete? Remember?
Yeah, I do.
Didn't your brother get like a 6-foot or something fishing rod out of Kmart, out of Grandway? Didn't he take like the whole thing down his shirt and everything and walk?
I remember that story.
Yeah, he probably did. In fact, I want to see if I can. So you were talking last time about my brother throwing somebody over a bridge, right?
Yeah, John doesn't remember that, does he?
We got together for the first time in 9 years, and I asked him this. Let's see if it'll play over.
Oh, I hope.
John McCall does a podcast. In the last podcast, Jimmy brought up the story where you threw somebody over the Route 4 bridge in Patterson. Now, do you recall tossing somebody over the bridge? No, I do not. Do you have any of the story you'd like to tell the podcast viewers? Well, you put me on the spot. You should have gave me 10 minutes before, and we'll come back. Yeah.
He doesn't remember. It doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Could you tell him the statute? Pete, no. The statute of limitations have run. It's okay to admit to it now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He looks a lot like your dad.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I thought the same thing, Steve.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Did we lose Joe for the night?
Was he having that much tough time getting on?
40 minutes.
Yeah. There he is.
Very windy here, and we're losing internet.
I like the fact that you're blaming it on other things, Joe. I like that.
Right. Okay. The old, it's windy. May not be able to hang out much longer.
I don't know why it
always
goes
blame it on the environment, blame it on the tools.
Nah, come on. So what did I miss?
You missed Pete. I'll say Pete was confirming, because in the last one I thought there was a story. Now I remember, and maybe it was just a story, but where Johnny supposedly he was with fighting. I thought the brothers were there too. Maybe Raymond was there, and supposedly they threw a kid off the bridge by Patterson, or he did. Johnny did, and now he's just saying he doesn't remember that. Do you remember that story?
No, I don't remember that story.
Next time you see Ray, ask him if he remembers that story. Although I got to admit, if Johnny doesn't remember it, how could you not remember that? I mean, it must have just been. It had to be a whole fabrication. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been.
That sounded legit when he said he didn't remember.
It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, I don't remember.
He would have said so. Yeah, I mean, and how could you not remember something like that? It had to be a fabrication back in the day. Or I had the shittiest memory possible.
I remember a story, and I was real little at the time, that somebody tried to steal your bikes up at the fish store, and Johnny and Ray beat the piss out of these kids. I remember a story about that. Like, it was Pete and Joe were up there, and somebody tried to steal their bikes, and Johnny and Ray showed up, and things didn't go well.
Maybe that's what it is, and maybe I embellished it. I don't know, but I could have sworn. No. I swear to God, I could have sworn I remember hearing throwing them over the bridge. But who knows?
Kim, the only thing I can tell you is about the bridge story is when I worked for McCrory's as a security guard, I chased the people who used to come in and steal all the sheets from downstairs because there was never nobody down there. And I chased them down to the bridge, and he pulled a knife on me. And then there was a log sitting right there, and I picked up the log, and I said, "You're either going to drop the sheets Because if you're going to stab me, I'm going to hit you with this friggin' log, and I'm going to throw you off the bridge. So maybe that's the story. Because I did do that. I did do that for Kenny McCrory's. That I chased them because I was like a psycho back in the day, 18-year-old psycho. That was
you think?
so maybe I chased. Like I said,
I would have been like,
maybe the story got mixed up, but I did. I chased them down to the bridge, and we got on the bridge, and he pulled the knife on me. And I looked down, and there was like a big log right there, and I was like, "Damn, I got a log. Let's go. You want to go? I got a log. You got a knife."
Joe, when
go ahead.
When Kenny was managing the Passaic store, me and Ray had chased some guy down and tackled the guy to get the stuff back.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point of that? And think about McCrory's. The guy probably had like $1.83 worth of goods. He was taking. It was the crappiest of the crap products.
How much was he taking?
But you know what it was? But you know what it was?
It was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah. But you know what it was back in the day?
Until they pull a knife. Or better yet, a gun.
Right. Was that Joe?
No. Back in the day, like Kenny was like the biggest guy, and like our most profits. Those are the most expensive things, and the pills, all the drugs were always wiped off the shelf, and all the sheets and stuff was the biggest thing. And like I said, I look back at it now. I'm like, I'm a moron. But not back in the day, that mattered a lot to us. Back in the day, you know, it did matter a lot. Like, you know, you're stealing our shit.
Yeah, so what I don't get is, if they were the most expensive stuff, what were they doing downstairs where nobody saw them?
It made them farther to get up.
Where's the marketing?
It wasn't right by the door.
Where's the marketing?
It wasn't right by the door to exit. And that's why I always told Kenny, why do we have the medicine and the drugs and
maybe
all?
Kenny wasn't the great manager we thought he was.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the moral of the story.
It was back in the day.
McCrory's could have been doing a lot better.
All right, where do we go from here?
Oh, we go anywhere. We go anywhere. I mean, there were years of spanning. You know, we talk about the basement rock and roll sessions over by Pete's house.
Pete also had that room underneath their front stairs.
I was going to bring that up, Steve.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk about that.
It was like you walk underneath the front steps. There was a whole room in there full of Playboys and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, that's right. We'd go in there. We would drink beers.
Yep. And from Pete's basement, in the back of the basement, you used to be able to crawl out.
Yeah.
And get out a window into their backyard.
Yep.
All right. So I got two stories I want to bring up from what you just said. I remember one time going over. I remember Teresa had a party by your house, Pete. And me and Steve went to the party, went to Teresa's party. And we hung out with them for a few minutes. And then we're like, fuck this. Fuck this. Let's just go in and hang out with Pete. And we just hung out in your room, and we had a great time just hanging out, the three of us.
No, Joe, you don't understand. Teresa had this party, right?
Yeah.
And everybody at the party was told, listen, that room is off limits. My brother's in there. He doesn't feel well. But we had talked to Pete earlier in the day, and it was like, hey, you got some shampoo? We'll come over, you know, fucking hang out. So we go to walk in there, and some dude's there. He's like, you're not allowed in there. We're like, what do you mean we're not allowed in there? Teresa said nobody's allowed in there. Her brother's in there. We're like, hey, Tara. Yeah, no, they're okay. And we go in, and they're like, and then we hung out with Pete and everything. And we came out, and everybody's like, what are you doing in there? We're like, what do you mean? We're like, you're not allowed in that room. We're like, no, we're allowed in that room. Don't worry about us.
As Pete would say, you're with me.
Yeah, that's it. You're with me.
You're with me.
Remember Pete? You remember Pete sitting out there one day outside? It was right outside my house, and he goes, 4th of July, I dealt with the fireworks. 5th of July, I dealt with the fireworks. 6th of July, I called the cops. And John, you gave him a hard time. And he goes, don't worry. One day there's going to be a little McPepper running around, and you're going to be calling the cops.
Yeah.
Steve, you got a memory like a fucking elephant.
I remember that. We were hanging out right in front of your house, Steve.
Yes.
I remember that distinctly.
Don't you worry. One day there's going to be a little McPepper running around, and you're going to call the cops.
Yep, absolutely. I was so tempted to name one of my kids McPepper McParland. because of that. What was the other story? The other story was.
I love the fact that you remember so much, man.
What's that?
I said I love the fact that Steve remembers so much. Right?
Oh yeah, it's very helpful. Yeah, that's why I keep him around. He's my memory.
Right, Pete? I can't get Friday's brain like us.
Yeah, it's a, you know what? It's cool, but it's a curse.
Curse?
Yeah, why is that?
I guess some things, right?
Try living up in here.
I couldn't live in that cartoon brain.
That's why I erased everything. That's why I erased everything up here.
Everything.
Yeah, that's
me.
Why,
me and Joe on Sunday nights, we used to watch at 11 o'clock. Monty Python came on.
No.
And Joe would be sitting up in his bedroom, and I'd be sitting in my parents' living room, which was right across from each other. And we'd be screaming across the street to each other. Holy shit, did you see that? You know, you gotta remember, all the windows are open. Everybody's got to hear us, you know.
Oh, that's great.
It was classic
Hey,
stuff.
Joe, I brought this up on the cast with Jim and Pete, and I know Macaluso remembers it, and you must have been there. Do you remember getting the starbursts from the shopper newspapers that were left at everyone's doorstep?
Now I do.
No.
Now I do. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
No.
Now I do.
Oh, my. Joe, you remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, that was too bad. That was just the best. I mean, there was one day, and you must have been there because we just, in essence, we scavenged the entire neighborhood. That was a year that none of us delivered papers, and we saw it. One of us saw it on our front stoops. We're like, guys, every paper in the neighborhood on everyone's front step has a starburst, a full-size starburst with all these different candies inside.
Yep.
Let's go! And we all just charged around, went up and down, just, I would hit one house, and then Steve would hit the next one, and then Jim would hit the next one, and I thought Joe and Pete were there as well. But there were several of us that were just crushing that neighborhood, pulling out. We had bags and bags filled of that. It was
You remember that, Pete? Oh, I do, yes. Oh, okay. I don't remember that. No doubt. We spoke about that last time. Yeah. See, that was, again, were we hurting anyone? Not really. But were we?
Really.
Not terribly, anyway.
It was a dick bag thing. Yeah.
You're being fucking dicks. Yeah. We were being dicks. Yeah.
No doubt.
I have a memory. Yeah.
I hope you can elaborate on that.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking to me? Okay.
Go for it, bro.
All right. Good. Remember when we used to sleep out at night, and then we used to go over to Fair Lawn and swim in all the heated built-in pools?
Absolutely.
Pool hopping.
Yeah.
Pool hopping.
Yeah.
Out in the backyards. Just great. That whole summer of camping out in the backyard just was classic.
Just used to throw like a line up between the trees and just throw blankets over it, and that was your tent.
Yeah, I mean, because we really obviously didn't care about the shelter. It was just an excuse. It was an excuse to stay out all night and morning.
So at one point, my sister was dating this guy from Clifton, and he was a freak, and nobody knew about it. He was dating her, but then he'd like call her at night and pretend to be somebody else and talk a bunch of shit about her. So me and John, I slept over at McParland's house one night. We're on his front porch, that looks over my parents' house.
Yeah.
And my sister comes home. So I'm like, hey, Mare, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? And she gets freaked out because she doesn't know it's me. She thinks it's somebody fucking hiding in the bushes stalking her. Right? Yeah. So me and John think nothing of it. So she goes inside. So me and John are like, hey, let's go out. Let's hang out. So me and John climb out the fucking windows through the bushes, and we're walking around the block like fucking at midnight, in our underwear.
Unrelated to the whole thing with Mary. We
come around the block, and all of a sudden we're coming down the block, and we see my father outside in his fucking boxers, fucking in the corner, like fucking looking around. We're like, holy shit, Because Mary got freaked out and told my father. So he's outside. So we're like freaking out. We don't get caught. We sneak, me and John, fucking sneaking through the bushes and shit. We get back into his house, and the next morning, his mother busts us because I think Bobby fucking dropped dime on us.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
She's like, yeah, I heard you had an adventure last night because Bob came in and we were not in the porch. We were out somewhere,
All I'll say is, in a way, that was probably the best that could have happened. Not for you guys, but then again, your sister just not going around for the next couple of weeks thinking somebody's,
Yeah, and then the next day,
yeah. Oh, in
me.
retrospect,
And she was like, she was beating the shit out of me. She's like, I thought you were somebody else.